And one day my dad asked me, what are you going to do with your life? You know, you're 16 now, you got to do something.
I had the choice of going to a vocational business course, and then something was telling me about this health and social care.
Had a slight turn in health of my own, and I thought the people that were looking after me were truly amazing, and that's what I wanted to do.
I watched a series called Grey's Anatomy, and even though it's more based on doctors and you have some nurse scenes there, it just showed me the interest, the actual excitement that they could be if I was working in a hospital.
The fact that you get to spend a lot of time on your feet and talking to people as opposed to sat behind a desk every day, all day, is massively important for me. I don't think I could sit there and write for 12 hours a day or type for 12 hours a day. I think being there on the shop floor, so to speak, is it's just, that's why I want to do it.
So occupational therapy, it's all about occupation. So it's not just a job, it covers 3 areas. So I'll give you a bit of theory. You've got self-care, which is everything that we do, the things that we do day in, day out, washing, cleaning, that perhaps we take for granted. And you've got leisure, which is the leisure activities, like rugby, for example, and etc. And you've got productivity, which is the job side of things.
I think the understanding of the human body is pretty much what really got me into nursing, because it's just so interesting and it's just endless. You don't know, you can never know everything. There's always something new to learn, which I think is personally just amazing. That's what I think really got me into the career, as well as caring and wanted to help people. Of course, that's just in my nature, but the understanding of what you could do to improve or make somebody's life better is exactly what nursing is for me personally.
For anyone who's interested in people, mental health nursing allows very significant interaction, hearing about people's life issues and feeling that you have the skills to help them resolve some of those issues is a very rewarding element of the job.
Watching surgery is just one of the most life-changing experiences I've probably ever been through.
I love
to be
it.
honest.
I absolutely love it. I have managed to hold a kidney. I've held a bladder. They asked for it back, obviously, and I have to kind of fight for it, but I give it back in the end. But you realise how much it's how holistic it is. It's socially, it's physically, emotionally, as well as spiritually. You need to care for everything for that person. You have to take everything into consideration, what they're going through, their family. You have to really tailor yourself to each individual because everybody is different.
Academic isn't my strong point, but the course and the university course and the course itself is quite hands-on, so it kind of assisted my learning style and approach with things. So yeah, I play rugby, so it's kind of quite active and sporty as well, so that kind of assists with it really.
Registration is really the beginning of the career, so that's the point at which you're competent to practice, but it's not the point at which you know everything. From there, a number of colleagues have built through higher degrees, they've built through experience, they've built through evaluating their own care, and indeed there is now a network of local practitioners who publish findings from their own work in clinical practice.
You can go into specialities of any type, diabetes, renal, respiratory, cardiac. You can really specialize in that area, which then obviously will increase your band, which increases your pay. Then you can go into management, assistant management, and then eventually even running the hospital.
Specific with the NHS is you get good pension and good future prospects, and I think NHS is very well known across the world, and especially if you've got experience in NHS, then you know that you're at a high calibre and you've been taught well.
Over the time I've been in nursing is a much greater professionalisation, much stronger professional accountability, and greater levels of responsibility, and therefore more career options.
The idea of doing going into the forces and things like that for nursing is a really, really good incentive for me. And I'm kind of interested in doing RAF work after I've finished, and after I finished my training, but I did decide to do it in the NHS first, and I think that's because when you come out, you've always got the opportunity to come back and work for the NHS again.
Nurses now have their own clinical responsibilities, they have professional accountability, they make high-level clinical decisions which impact directly on people's lives. They are autonomous practitioners, and the reason for the move to graduate education, despite some of the political criticism, is really because the levels of responsibility have become so great that without that level of education, clinical decision making would be impossible.
It's world recognised, Australia, Canada, and it's a needed profession. And I know, I've heard that they use the profession to migrate to Australia, to Asia, range of countries.
I'm trying to go through like an overseas elective placement. I'm thinking about going to Peru, so I've paid like certain fees, and it's quite a bit of money, but it would be worth it. There's three other student nurses that are doing it at the same time for 6 weeks with me.
Perhaps future career possibilities that I would like to work in Canada, and you know, I've always been here, I've always lived here, and I thought it'd be a good life adventure for me.
The idea of working with people from all different backgrounds and getting the opportunity to travel the world is a massive incentive, not just only career progression, but from the point that I get to go and see different parts of the world.
What society thinks is correct for what you're supposed to do.
Go ahead and do it.
You don't want to be normal.
So I'd sit in an operations room and I'd guide missiles against enemy aircraft and enemy ships.